I already said in my review of the Moto One Zoom that I needed to compare these two phones more thoroughly because they're so similar in so many ways. So here it is. This is Moto One Zoom versus OnePlus 7T. Yes, with the possibility that I'll repeat myself, these phones are surprisingly similar. That even starts with the box, as both come with a free clear case. But Motorola also includes headphones because the Moto One Zoom does have a headphone jack, which the OnePlus 7T lacks. In terms of design, they're also not too far off. Both are very similar in size, the 7T is just a bit larger and thinner, but with a thicker camera bump. That is generally huge on both though. The One Zoom does feel a bit chunkier thanks to the additional heft and thickness, but it's really not that big of a difference. The back of the Motorola does feel softer in the hand though, because the matte finish is on the outside. Since this is different on the 7T, it not only feels like regular glass, but is also more prone to fingerprints. On the front, both have a notched Full HD Plus AMOLED display, but the one on the 7T is slightly bigger thanks to the smaller bezels. Both are bright and sharp, but the One Zoom is a bit more vivid than the 7T. What they share is the lack of an always-on display instead of their ambient display. I'm gonna keep complaining about this. The One Zoom does have that notification LED in the logo on the back though as well, which is very smart. So is the alert slider on the 7T that I wish was more customizable. This is interesting because in general customization is a real strong point of OnePlus's software, be it the interface colors or gesture controls. Those are even smarter on Motorola's side though, with a twist to open the camera, chopping to open the flashlight, or flipping the phone to silence. The navigation gestures aren't optimal on either, since Moto has that permanent pill and OnePlus is stupid gesture to go back. The software is generally great on both though, as they both come with stock Android with only minor but nonetheless extremely useful additions. The 7T does already have Android 10, while the One Zoom is still on 9. The stock Android software does contribute to good performance on either, but the 7T is on a whole other level, also because of the 90Hz refresh rate on its display. That makes everything that involves animations or especially scrolling feel much more fluid and fast. While it's a noticeable difference, I don't think not having it is a complete deal breaker for the Moto One Zoom. But this isn't the only difference when it comes to performance. The OnePlus 7T obviously has the much faster chip with the Snapdragon 855 Plus, which is also paired with double the RAM at 8GB and faster UFS storage. Both have the same 128GB though, unless you get the 7T from China, for example through Trading Shenzhen, where you can also get it in a 256GB version and save some money at the same time. The 7T is just the noticeably faster phone in terms of app launch times or switching between things. The One Zoom isn't slow, but it does need more time to think, and you can especially notice more frequent reloading of apps due to the only 4GB of RAM paired with a Snapdragon 675 inside. But there is also an advantage to the lower refresh rate and more efficient chip when paired with a bigger battery in the Moto One Zoom. You do get about 1 hour less screen on time on the OnePlus 7T compared to the Motorola. But both are very good at over 6 and over 7 hours of screen on time respectively, with a mix of messaging, browsing, video watching, but no gaming. The 7T does have the advantage of much faster charging at 30 instead of 15 watts. With that it's full in less than an hour compared to the over 1.5 hours for the One Zoom, and quick top-ups are much faster as well. Neither features wireless charging though. Some smaller differences. They're both not certified for proper water resistance, but OnePlus phones are pretty well known for being resistant to full submersion, despite OnePlus saving on the certification, while the One Zoom is really only splash resistant. Both have good speakers, but the 7T has a stereo pair, which interestingly sounds tinnier and less full than the One Zoom's mono speaker. You also get an in-display fingerprint scanner on either, and both have facial scanning as well, but on the 7T both unlocking methods are much faster and more reliable. Lastly, let's turn to the cameras, of which we have quite a few actually. 7 back-facing sensors combined. Crazy. The setups are very similar once again. Both have a main 48MP sensor paired with a 16MP 117° wide angle as well as a telephoto camera. On the OnePlus, that one is a 12MP 2x zoom, while on the One Zoom it's an 8MP sensor with 3x magnification. The One Zoom also has a 4th sensor for depth. In good lighting, this similar makeup also leads to similarly great results. Pictures that are sharp, have good color reproduction and high contrast. Like the 7 Pro already, the 7T does lean to more saturated and warmer colors though, which are less natural but make food look much better. Because of this, I often prefer the One Zoom in well-lit outdoor shots. The wide angle and telephoto sensors on either are rather similar to the main sensor in terms of their look. The One Zoom does have an advantage here though I think, because its 3x zoom gives you more background compression and is less soft. Where the differences come in though is inside, in worse light or at night. Whereas sharpness and color reproduction do fall quite starkly on the Motorola with less available light, the 7T does not have this issue as much. The night mode on the 7T is also much better, with vastly better contrast and sharpness. It's really a night and day difference here. Pun intended. On the 7T you can also use the wide angle in night mode and all the cameras for video, while on the One Zoom you can only use the main sensor for either, which is limiting. Apart from this, video quality and stabilization is good on both, but due to the faster chip in the 7T, it can record 4K and slow motion at twice the frame rate. Interestingly enough, selfies are the other way around, with Motorola having better colors and bokeh. The 7T is clearly the better phone. You get higher speed everywhere, that awesome 90Hz screen, a camera with better low-light performance, and some other small niceties like stereo speakers, faster charging, or the haptic vibration motor. At MSRP, it's about 50% more expensive than the One Zoom. For that price difference, the similarities are really what is more striking. Both have a great AMOLED panel, a very good camera system with 3 focal lengths, producing very close results, an in-display fingerprint sensor, a similar design, and so on. If you look at it this way, the One Zoom doesn't look like a bad option. But if you're willing to import the 7T, the price difference shrinks to only about 50 euros, and I would pay that for the additional benefits any day, which is why it wins for me. Because it offers so much of what makes the 7T so great, the One Zoom can be seen as a great value alternative to the former. But of course, the additional money spent on the 7T isn't for nothing. Thanks to Trading Shenzhen for the OnePlus 7T, and thanks to Motorola for the One Zoom so I could make this comparison. If you enjoyed this video, you know which buttons to press, and don't forget to press that follow button on Twitter. I'm Brian, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.